The Trans-Pacific Partnership has been signed. Seoul says it will review its potential membership in what is now the world's largest free trade bloc. The Volkswagen scandal has ushered a shift away from clean diesel to hybrid vehicles. Competition is fierce in the Korean green car market. And the tourism sector rebounds on a surge of Chinese tourists over their national holiday period this month. A Friendly Korea campaign will welcome them. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Tuesday, October 6th. I'm Luke Clary. The Trans-Pacific Partnership has been signed to bring the U.S., Japan, Latin America, and some Southeast Asian countries under one economic umbrella. The Korean government has announced that it will actively review Korea's potential membership in the world's largest free trade bloc. Here's what Korea stands to gain and lose from TPP membership.
If Korea joins the TPP, the Korean economy stands to expand considerably. 10 years after the TPP's enactment, Korea's actual GDP would rise by as much as 1.8% and trade account by $300 million per year, according to one study. When Korea doesn't join the TPP, however, the country's GDP would fall by 0.12% and its trade account by $100 million.
우리나라가 한미 FTA를 통해서 미국 시장에서 누리던 그런 어떤 상대적인 우위를 일본이나 베트남 같은 경쟁국들에게 빼앗길 가능성이 매우 높습니다.
Benefit and loss projections vary by industry. The automobile, textile, and petrochemical industries would probably see their exports increase. However, the automotive parts and materials, as well as agriculture and fishery sectors, which have to compete against Japan, may suffer losses. Some studies claim that the benefits and losses from TPP membership would not amount to much, since Korea has already concluded free trade agreements with 10 out of 12 TPP member countries. The Korean government stated that it would determine whether to join the TPP after thoroughly analyzing the TPP's effects on the Korean economy and holding public hearings to reach a public consensus.
Though it seemed that the upcoming inter-Korean family reunions were in jeopardy due to the threat of North Korean provocations, preparations appear to be proceeding as scheduled. On Monday, South and North Korea exchanged lists of surviving family members on each side. North Korea has also released Joo Won-moon, one of 4 South Korean nationals currently detained in the north.
2 weeks ahead of the scheduled reunion of families separated by the Korean War, South and North Korea exchanged lists of surviving candidate family members. Of the 250 people for whom South Korea requested confirmation, the North has confirmed that 120 have surviving relatives in the North. 121 of the 200 applicants from the North have been found to have surviving families south of the border. The two Koreas will determine a final list of 100 family members each for the reunion event and exchange the lists on Wednesday. South Korea's Red Cross immediately notified families of their surviving kin in North Korea and has begun selecting final participants. Meanwhile, on Monday, North Korea released Joo Won-moon, a South Korean national and U.S. university student who was one of 4 South Koreans detained in the North. Following his repatriation, the North said that Joo was deported on humanitarian grounds, despite having illegally entered the country. Attention is gathering on whether the detainee's release, ahead of the 70th anniversary of the founding of North Korea's ruling party, may have a positive influence on inter-Korean relations.
The Volkswagen scandal has ushered significant changes in consumer interest, shifting from clean diesel to hybrid vehicles. Here in Korea, automakers are moving fast to take a bigger share of the nation's green car market.
The number of consumers looking to buy hybrid vehicles has spiked recently.
이번 달만 해도 한 기존 대비 한 30% 정도의 그 공해 문의가 늘어난 추세입니다. 가장 이제 초점이 연비고요. 네, 그다음에 내구성.
At present, the sales of hybrid vehicles account for less than 3% in the Korean automobile market, with diesel vehicles taking up an overwhelming 52%. But the situation is changing fast. A public opinion survey showed that consumer preference for diesel cars was halved following the Volkswagen scandal, and that the number of consumers willing to purchase hybrid cars jumped 3.5 times. Green cars have fuel efficiency high enough to replace diesel engines, and their eco-friendly features give them more of an edge as environmental regulations grow tougher. In Korea, local automakers are putting up a good fight against their Japanese competitors, who are clearly leading the global hybrid car market. As consumers turn away from diesel vehicles in the wake of Volkswagen's false clean diesel claims, environment-friendly cars are furiously vying to fill the void in consumer demand for clean vehicles.
The Korean tourism industry was hit by the outbreak of the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS. But thanks to a surge of Chinese tourists visiting the country during their national holiday period early this month, the tourism sector is seeing a healthy rebound. A campaign is underway to promote a friendlier Korea to foreign visitors.
Foreign tourists watch a street performance by Korean breakdancers. A record 210,000 Chinese people are expected to visit Korea during China's National Day holiday. The K-Smile campaign aims to instill a friendly image of Korea and encourage foreign tourists to revisit the country. The Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism appointed tourism industry officials as honorary Smile ambassadors and signed friendliness pledges with citizens.
2천만 관광객 시대를 생각하면은 사실 개선해야 될 굉장히 심각한 문제고, 그래서 우리 업계와 또 지자체와 국민이 다 함께 참여하는 이런 그 친절 캠페인 통해 갖고.
According to the World Economic Forum, Korean hospitality towards foreign tourists ranks 129th in the world. The Tourism Ministry will continuously promote the K-Smile campaign, especially among cab drivers and workers in the accommodation and restaurant sectors, all the way up to the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics.
With a spike in the number of one-person households, more and more young people are dining and drinking alone. A survey found a downside to this phenomenon, which was that single diners and drinkers tend to suffer more from depression.
These people are in a so-called drink-alone pub. They are seated separately and each enjoy a drink without minding other people's stares.
처음에는 되게 낯설었었고요. 여기에 오니까 혼자 드시는 분들이 굉장히 많더라고요. 와서 음악을 듣거나 이제 술을 한 잔 정도 이렇게 마시면서 스트레스를 해소하고.
There are now 5 million single-person households in Korea. They tend to form relationships with a wide range of people through smartphones and social media, but they feel uncomfortable when it comes to actually sitting down to drink and eat with others. In fact, the Korea Health and Nutrition Examination Survey found that 6.6% of Korean adults suffer from depression, but that figure more than doubles to 14.5% for those living alone. For married couples, the percentage of people with depression was low at 4.9%.
아무래도 이제 혼자 지내게 되다 보면 자신의 힘든 것들을 혼자서 극복을 해야만 하고, 이런 것들을 쉽게 나눌 수 있는 사람들이 없다는 것이 스트레스가 점점 더 병리적인 현상으로.
These aspects of one-person households may appear unfamiliar now. But 20 years from now, the number of people living alone is expected to increase to 1 in 3 households.
Police say that thanks to the many surveillance cameras found on Korea's streets and back alleys and the real-time images they record, criminals can be caught in the act faster than ever before. Let's take a look.
Late at night, teenagers loiter in an alleyway. They try pulling open car doors and manage to steal goods from a cargo truck. However, as they examine the pilfered items, they're caught by police. The arrest was made just 2 minutes after their crime was caught on security cameras. This man who stole a bike was also caught on the scene by a police officer who was watching him on camera from a control room. Closed-circuit television footage used to capture criminals red-handed has been shared with the public.
만여 명도 채 되지 않던 페이스북 친구들이 지금은 5만 명 정도로 늘었습니다.
Despite controversy regarding human rights violations, disclosure of the videos is aimed at maximizing the effects of crime prevention by alerting people that the police are always watching. Last year, security camera footage assisted in some 630 arrests, up 65% from the previous year.
While the leaves of sweet potatoes often end up in the trash bin, farmers around the country have recently developed various health foods using the byproducts of their crops. Here's more.
Farmers are busy harvesting sweet potatoes. Once the potatoes are dug out, the leaves are usually thrown away. But they can be used to make tea by steaming them first, then roasting them over a fire before letting them soak in warm water. Tea made with sweet potato leaves is rich in antioxidants, which prevent aging. But not any variety of sweet potatoes can be used to make tea, which can have a stale and bitter taste if the wrong variety is used. Recently, Korean farmers have found sweet potato varieties that have a nice aroma and developed technology to produce healthy tea using sweet potato leaves.
부가가치도 높일 수도 있고 경제적으로도 엄청 큰 도움이 되고 정말 좋습니다.
Ginseng berries, which are also often discarded like sweet potato leaves, are now used as a material for functional beverages.
인삼의 열매에는 뿌리보다 사포닌 함량이 2배 이상 많이 함유되어 있고요. 파이토스테롤이라는 다른 기능성 성분들이 많이 함유되어 있습니다.
The Agricultural Research and Extension Services Institute plans to promote the development of technologies that transform agricultural byproducts into healthy foods.
Korean boy band Big Bang's tour in North America has been selling out shows left and right. It's an explosive response from American audiences. Here's more from the world of culture.
Tickets to Big Bang's concerts in North America, which began on October 2nd, were sold out in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Anaheim. The group's concerts were attended not only by the group's fans, but also by famous celebrities and entertainment industry experts who showed great interest. Big Bang's North American tour, which is the second of its kind since 2012, spans 6 cities in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, and will likely become the largest North American tour ever to be held by a Korean artist. Singer Song Si-kyung will hold a 2-day concert entitled The Last Day at Seoul's Olympic Park starting December 30th. All of the singer's year-end concerts, which were launched in 2011, have sold out so far, becoming the most popular year-end concerts in the nation. Women's trio Korea-U.S are soon to release an album marking the 10th anniversary of their debut, featuring the group's original members. Korea-U.S agency said the trio will release the album entitled Thank You on Wednesday. It features original members Misty, Jung Hae-min, and Chang Hee-young.
It's a common belief that a good night's sleep can be a cure for many ailments. In fact, ample sleep is proven to boost the immune system. Today, we'll show you how to keep your pillows free of germs and dust mites to put your mind at ease when you lay down your head at night. This housewife is concerned about the cleanliness of her pillows. She washes her sheets and comforters at least once a month and pillowcases more than once a week. But she admits that she doesn't put a lot of thought into her pillows.
사실 이게 소통이 산지는 좀 됐는데 어떻게 빨리 해야 될지도 모르겠고 해서 세탁해 본 적은 없는 것 같네요.
Time to test both her and her child's pillows. The test discovered dust mites on both pillows. Dead skin cells from the scalp and other parts of the body, along with the moisture from perspiration during sleep, create an optimal environment for all sorts of germs and mites to grow. In order to kill dust mites and germs, you might try hanging out the pillows in the sun, keeping them in the freezer, or even applying hot air from a hairdryer. A test was carried out on 3 pillows with an equal number of dust mites introduced to each one to see which method is most effective in removing the mites. The first pillow was placed under direct sunlight. The second one was wrapped in a plastic bag and put inside the freezer. Finally, a hairdryer was used to apply hot air to the third one. 5 minutes later, the dust mites in the pillow placed in the sun don't appear to have been affected. The ones in the frozen pillow appeared dead at first, but they woke up after a little while and became active. The dust mites exposed to hot air were the only ones killed.
뜨거운 열기가 진먼지 진드기를 제거하는 데 아주 효과적입니다. 그러나 화재 위험이 있고 특히 베개 소재에 따라서는 변형이 일어날 수 있으므로 매우 주의해야 합니다.
If sunlight is to be effective in killing mites, a pillow should be hung out under the sun for at least 5 hours. Also, assorted germs and microbes are killed only when a pillow is stored in the freezer for more than 24 hours. Clean and comfortable pillows are essential to restful sleep, so keep these tips in mind to rid your bedding of allergy-causing dust mites. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.